Okay, first we take some masa on a rubber spatula, and around in the middle, you see I have a trimmed corn husk here. You press down, have the edge, show here Jay, right here, you want this to be at the edge of your cutting board, and you press down and you just smear, and it makes a nice relatively even paste of the masa. Then we take some of our filling, that's about a tablespoon, and put it in the middle. And if you like adding cheese, you can add cheese. And if you like it hotter, you can add a piece of pickled jalapeno. Okay, and then you roll it up. You take this, which is the edge of the masa, and you notice we left extra open space here. You take it, and you roll over, and you press, kind of like if you've ever rolled your own sushi. You press it a little bit so that it meets, and it enrobes the filling. And then you roll it up. You pick it up and you fold it over like that, and then the narrow end you fold that up, and then you take a tie. Oops, let me get a tie here. The ties are just, sometimes you get corn husks that aren't big enough, you rip those into strips, and those are your ties. You tie just a simple knot. And then I like to, just for neatness sakes, trim off the extra. And then you take your rolled tamale and you put it in your steamer basket. Now, if you can't get corn husks, like we're able to get at our local Mexican bodega, you can use parchment paper. So I cut a piece of parchment paper approximately the same size as a corn husk. Take a little masa, about a little off center, and you smear it just like we did before. Filling, cheese, oops, jalapeno, and you roll it up, meat, push a little, roll, roll, roll. You fold that over, you fold that up. Now, if you don't have the corn husks to make your tamale fillings, you won't have them to make your ties. But you can use kitchen twine to make the ties, but since I have the corn husks, I'm going to use that. But kitchen twine works too. So that is how you fill and roll a tamale.
Very good. Now I noticed you made these smaller than you would buy in a Mexican bodega store or a restaurant.
Yeah, when we get them at the restaurant, they're pretty big. You know, usually you get like 2 in an order and they put some sauce on it. You take that and you put it in your steamer basket, same way. You know, you get 2 in an order and they give them to you and they put some sauce on top of it. And, you know, that's good, but they're really big. They're like the size of, I don't know, an enchilada or something. We're making these for a party. And that's generally how we like to serve them. We don't generally have them for dinner. So we're making them for a party. And I make them small. Jason will show you a picture of a finished one too. And I make them small because then they're like appetizers. And when people are eating them at the party, they can unroll them, and then basically they're like finger food because you can use the corn husk like a plate.
Now what kind of filling do you have here? This is chicken?
That is chicken. It's we'll put a link in the article for the recipe that I based it on, which was a chicken tomatillo stew. You cook some tomatillos and basically you braised chicken legs in tomatillos, and you know, some chili and some lime juice, and then I shredded the chicken and mixed it up with some cilantro, and there's some spices in there, and that recipe will be in the article.
And you could also use sauteed beef, chorizo, whatever you want.
Yeah, we also make them with a chorizo mixture, or basically
barbecue,
if
leftover
you have
barbecue.
any kind of leftovers.
Leftover meat of any kind.
Yeah, you can use it as the filling. The traditional recipe is like lechon. It's like pork, and then they add some, you know, chilies and stuff, or just some strips of cheese and pickled jalapenos you can use if you don't want any meat. You can just use some pickled jalapenos and some cheese, and make vegetarian ones.
Although the mixture of the masa itself, we use manteca, which is pork fat.
That's true. I guess if you were making vegetarian ones,
It's a vegetarian stock.
you could use
corn oil.
You could use corn oil. You could use margarine.
Yep.
I don't know what they use. I guess corn oil. Well, some of the recipes I saw for tamales had corn oil.
Now, what kind of steamer is this? Is this small?
This is my little
Small steamer.
Black & Decker handy steamer. Here,
You bought it probably 10 years ago.
I bought this steamer 20 years ago. I had this before we got married.
So you could buy. Most people would use what, a steamer pot.
Most people use a big steamer pot. They use a big pot like those spaghetti pots that have the basket insert, you know, and then they make big tamales and they fill them like that. This is just a little Black & Decker handy electric steamer that has a timer that goes over an hour. Big tamales need to cook for about an hour and a half. I cook these little ones for an hour.
Very good. So there you got your tamale rolling education at Off the Broiler. Have a good Super Bowl, and hopefully tonight the Jets will win. And then
they'll be in the Super Bowl.
And they'll be in the Super Bowl.
Well, by the time this is posted, we'll know if the Jets are going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yes, and you will be able to make tamales for the Super Bowl now that you've seen the instructions. Thanks a lot, guys.